the track.
Peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Big Slang. Hoping I got another story. This story is about the Crip that came to the block and told dudes he wanted to be YG or something like that. I really don't remember what he said, but he said something stupid like that he didn't want to be Crip no more. And that, you know, he was thinking about turning YGs or something else. I don't know. But anyway, so boom, before I get into the video, make sure you like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you like my content, right? So, I told you I was gonna give you out this video. I just looked at a comment of somebody telling me, yo, you gotta give us the video now. So here the video go, right? So boom. It's funny because I don't even know who this dude was. You feel me? Like I wasn't there when he turned Crip. I never really seen this dude around. Like, I don't know what the hell was going on, right? Like I said, like at some point I wasn't really spending a lot of time on the block, like, you feel me, on the turf. Like I was doing my own thing on Gun Hill, you feel me? And I was going elsewhere and moving around and patrolling, you feel me? Like, so I wasn't even really on the block like that. So anyway, one day we go to the movies, you know. So I told y'all back in the days, you know what I'm saying? At the time, sometimes I used to be chilling with the bosses, you know. So one day it was me, and I think it was two of the homeboys, so just me and another homeboy. So we going to the movies. So when we going to the movies or whatever, we get on the 30 bus, you know. Y'all know the 30 bus go to Co-op, right? So we got on the 30 bus. Where did we get on the? We got on the 30 bus. By the time the 30 bus got to like Baychester and Boston Road, like, man, YB Jones jumped on the bus, right? It was like about 15 of them. Like, they was always mad deep. Like, it was like 15, 20 of them. And it was like a few joints with them. I ain't gonna lie, they always used to be deep and they always used to have some joints with them. You know, so mad of them jumped they hopped the bus, you feel me? So like, we was going to the movies, they was going to the movies too. Like, so, you know, we used to be sneaking in the movies back then and shit. So it was a whole bunch of them. So one of the dudes we happened, so, you know, dudes knew like my affiliations back then. So one of the dude that, you know, he got put off, he got like, you know, they did him dirty, you know what I'm saying? So before I get into that, he got on the bus, he was on the bus with the bosses. For me, I don't know if he turned YB, I don't know if he ever turned YG, I don't know. But he was with them too that day. So I'm sitting in the back, so I'm talking to the other bosses that I know. Some of them I didn't know, like, you know what I'm saying? But I knew like a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? Like from the neighborhood. So this dude, he was staring at me, you feel me? So him and his mans, it was like two of them. It was these two dudes I ain't really know. So they was just staring at me, right? So I'm just like, I'm looking at them like, what's up with these dudes? Like, you feel me? Like, but I'm still talking to like the other dudes, but I'm still kind of like looking at them. So the other homeboy, I tell the other homeboy, like, yo, like, what's up with son? Like, so my man started looking at him. And he go, oh, that's him. Yo, it was so funny because I'm just like, what are you talking about, bro? And like, he was mad loud with it. He was like, that's the nigga. Because I think my mans had told me like the story of they almost killed this dude, right? Like, he was like, yo, this dumbass dude pulled up to the block talking about he didn't want to be Crip, he wanted to be YG, and yo, they smoked him, like, he got us put off. So dude was like, my man's, he like, oh, that's him, and he laughing and shit. He said, man, they almost killed this nigga. Yo, he talking wild, crazy, you feel me? Like, so I'm like, yo, bro, like, I'm just like, why you mad loud? Like, he being disrespectful because it's like he pointing the finger and he telling and he talking mad shit, like, you feel me? And he was like, yo, they almost killed this nigga. So basically, so this is how we met, right? So he was tight, he on the bus. My man's laughing at him, he pointing at him. And you know, there's mad other people around and he probably felt like he can't really do nothing, you feel me? Like, so it was just a crazy situation, right? And there's the girls there and my man's just running us. He mad loud talking. So basically what happened, He came to the clock, right? You know what I'm saying? And you know, he basically told the homies like, yo, like he didn't want to be Crip no more. Like, I don't know. I don't know if he told him, or I don't know if they just got word and they just happened to see him, you know. But I think he told him. I think that was the story is he told him. And you know, it was like 3 dudes on the block. And man, I heard they just put the beats on them, man. Like I just heard it was like really bad. Like they really spanked them. And I already know like the type of time like dudes was on. You feel me? Like, cause sometimes when they used to put dudes on, sometimes they used to violate them. Like, so I seen situations where like before I even get into that. So anyway, I heard they just smoked him like crazy. Like they was jumping on his head with 2 feet, like kicking him, like just going crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. He had like some permanent bruises like on his forehead kind of shit. Like them shits just like never left him. They violated him, but then they called him a cab. You know, it was like 3 dudes. And what I noticed is like, you know, when you get jumped by like 10 people or more, it's not really that bad because everybody trying to get hits in, right? It's almost like a bunch of lions trying to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like a gazelle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some people are not really gonna get much, like, you know. So it's the same thing. Like, you don't really get violated a certain way. But when 3 dudes catch you, I ain't gonna lie. When we used to catch dudes by like 2 dudes or 3 dudes or like, yo, yeah, it used to be curtains, man. So I already know they did him dirty, especially the fact that he came in there to the block on some, he don't want to be Crip no more. They already used to be wilding on dudes that wanted to turn Crip, right? Like one time I came through the block one night and they beat this dude, man. This dude was from Brooklyn. You know, he pulled up and he talked, he talking about he wanted to be Crip. And he was all the way from Brooklyn, so I don't understand why he turned Crip in the Bronx, right? You know, it made no sense. But they beat fire out this dude. And it's almost like they knew he wasn't gonna come back, you feel me? Because you live all the way in Brooklyn. So I feel like the way they beat him, they beat him in a way where it was like, we know he's not coming back, so they just have fun with him. Yo, when I seen this dude, I walked through the block, I remember like his eye was looking crazy, like his whole face was just looking crazy, right? And I seen him and I'm just like, yo, these dudes just like violated this dude. Like that shit used to be like wrecked sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole, like, jumping somebody in used to be wrecked. And I remember I was walking past and they was like, you know, I told you I always used to have the crates. So they was like, yo, give him one of your crates, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. They was like, yo, you better come back too, man. Like, cause you know, checking in is an important thing. You know, you got meetings and all of that stuff. But basically it was crazy. So he was stupid. Like, honestly, I just feel like, bro, why you pulling up? Like, I'm just saying me. Like, I feel like if I wanted to get out of that situation, I'm not pulling up to come get smoked. Like, I'm just not doing it. I know it's protocol. I just feel like that shit is crazy. Like, it's already a situation to get jumped, to get smoked, to get into the gang, right? And sometimes, you know, some people get it bad, you know, so. And then I think like to get out, to go get smoked, you gotta understand something. Sometimes dudes feel some type of way that you're leaving. So sometimes you might not even leave. These dudes in this case, they called this dude a cab. I don't know if they called him, I think they called him a cab to the hospital. They called him a cab or they sent him home. I don't know where they sent him. But they called him a cab. You feel me? They fake looked out and then they was yelling, tell him Insane did it. That's another thing dudes used to do. You feel me? Like after they used to like smoke something, you know, they used to be shouting out their hood, like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you know, tell them we did it, you know, tell them they did it, tell them, you know, whatever the name, right? So it was stupid back then. It was fun, like not fun, but like it was just a thing, a trademark thing. But yeah, they send this dude home in a cab. But the whole thing is this, man, like you can't trust that people are gonna just let you go just like that, you know. But it could become dangerous. Like I knew of a dude who he was a blood. We was actually cool, like, you know, and I met him and me and him talked about, you know, my relations and how I got out the gang. And he was, you know, he was concerned. He was asking me like, yo, how did you really do it? Like, cause I feel like I got out of it. He was from Stockholm, California, Stockholm, something like that. Stockholm, something like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So he was from Cali. And you know, it's a whole different ball game in different places, you know. He ended up passing away. Like, I met him 1 month, we was talking or whatever, and he was like, yo, like I left the gang, like I left the Bloods. I'm trying to raise my daughter, I'm trying to go to school. He was doing like community work in the community. And, you know, next thing you know, like I just heard about it. I got a call like the next month Because he told me like every time he used to, sometimes when you can't leave the hood, you always gonna have those problems. So I kind of understand why some people just can't leave the gangs, or they feel like it's for life. They stuck. I get it. Because this is one of those individuals, right? He still lived in the hood, and he used to tell me like, yo, every time I come home though, or every time I bump into the homies, like it's always something, right? Like they always talking slick, or they always saying something, like, so he was just like, I don't know, like I feel unease, so he was asking me how did I go about my situation, that I still have beef, do I still have run-ins with certain people? And my situation was kind of different. But I said, like, you always gotta expect the worst from people. You always gotta be on point. You always gotta live your life like you got problems, in a sense, right? Because that's the only way you won't relax. And it's a crazy way to live, but it is what it is, right? When we chose to get into a lifestyle that comes with repercussions, especially when you're trying to leave and you're trying to change and you're trying to get your life together. So, my condolences to the brother. Brother passed away a month after that. I believe, I'm not gonna say his ex gang killed him. I believe that because just based on the stuff that he told me, how he was trying to change, and he felt like these dudes was not trying to let him change, and they were saying certain things. So it's sad, right? It's sad that we just can't let people change and live their lives and be there for their kids because of some protocol or some code. And people try to be like, you just wouldn't understand, the politics is different. Nah, homie. When people want to change their life, we should let them. Like, and I just think that that's what it is. If a man want to move on with his life, and even if maybe you got to beat him up, like, to let him go, but like, damn, don't kill him. Like, he got children. Like, we don't even be thinking about the collateral damage, right? And that shit is just fucked up in our communities. Like, I just think sometimes people make mistakes. People get into things they don't really know about. Like, we love running around with the narrative that we knew what we was doing. We know what we was doing. We know what we signed up for. No, we don't, bro. No, we don't. It's not like they had a gang one-on-one sheet where we check boxes. Like we didn't get no disclosure telling us what we were supposed to expect or what was possibly something that was awaiting for us once we joined this. A lot of people don't know, man. A lot of times you don't know what goes on in the gang until you join it. So how can you really know what you signed up for? That's why when a lot of those be talking that I know what I signed up for, you really don't. Because you don't really know what this entails until you're a part of it, until you live it, until you're experiencing it. When you from the outside, you just on the outside looking in. It looks cool. It looks like it's all right. It looks like it's a good thing to do. It looked like they're close. It looked like it's a brotherhood. And then when you get into it, you start to realize it's not what you thought it was. So let's stop running with the narrative that we knew what we signed up for. Because a lot of times when dudes get into it, you realize, damn, I didn't know this shit was going to be like this, And yeah, and at that point, like, people don't want to let you go. Or people don't want to just see where you're coming from. But anyway, that's the story. Let me know what your thoughts are. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace.